Power, the first couple of episodes are out. I'm going to give you my take on all of that. Plus, I kind of want to talk about the gap between Tolkien's vision of the world and the Hollywood writers, because you see, Tolkien was a Christian and believed in Judeo-Christian values and Western civilization.
So here, Shapiro, in this review, mostly talks about Christian, Judaist morality, women, and race. Basically, it's all concerned here as a fantasy movie watcher. I am not sure how he relates that in a fantasy world, that do we need to have a moral values, as we know we believe in the love in our lives, or it's fantasy, and we don't need to have the same moral values in that world. And I think he doesn't understand those things yet. Maybe man in this world, they give birth to people. Maybe women are fighters. It's I don't know. I'm not saying in this one, but when you think about imagination, those are creativity. And if you stick to your realistic way of on looking at the way you look, just don't watch it. It doesn't worth it. Don't watch and waste your time and our times as well.
I'm not sure the writers of this series do, and I think it shows. It's all that in just a second. This video is sponsored by Good Ranchers. Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. So, I don't know why they're doing this in the first place. The original series is amazing.
So, he's referring the Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings as original. So, let me explain something to you. Original means, let's say you have a ring and gold ring, or you have a diamond ring, and someone is trying to imitate the same ring using a fake material like cheap stones, and they trying to sell you this cheap one, fake one, as if it is original. So this is not the case here. It is what you can refer something as original and the other is fake. They are both originals, different stories. The Lord of the Rings was the different story, and this is the different story, happened 3,000 years before the Lord of the Rings. So you cannot refer one original as if this one is not original. This is an original TV series as well, 3,000 years before the Lord of the Rings. The events we are going to see, the Rings of Power. If you didn't still understand how they forged the rings, the elves, as you remember the Galadriel speech, they are forging the rings, and how actually Sauron is going to forge the one ring that is going to rule them all. And this is the story we are watching here, okay? And then Isildur and all. So, but obviously he still didn't get that one.
Amazing. Take it as one movie that is my favorite series of films. The TV show.
So I think he loses all his credentials, his favorite movies, and he barely knows the name of the characters in the Lord of the Rings. And also he is not understanding, or he is making comparisons that is not accurate. So I'm going to show.
From Amazon, costs somewhere between $750. I'm going to begin from the beginning. The original Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece, and it starts as a masterpiece. The opener is a prologue. If you go back to the original Lord of the Rings, the original prologue is really well written. It is Galadriel in a voiceover telling you the entire story of what leads up to Frodo Baggins finding the ring.
Seriously, this is the thing, like he lost all his credentials. He has no idea about the Lord of the Rings, and if he is, his favorite movie is the Lord of the Rings, and he's a fan of the Lord of the Rings and Tolkien, obviously, he should know Frodo didn't find the ring. Frodo was given the ring by Gandalf, Gandalf gave the ring to Frodo. So, as a person who makes his life by speaking, debates, and of confrontation by using the language, he should make this kind of sentence easily and make the correct statement, not the false one. Frodo didn't find the ring as a person who knows and who is kind of expert. I am the expert of the Lord of the Rings, but you're not, as always. I'm not
at Bilbo's
surprised.
house. And it gives you the entire story, and it does it in about 6 minutes. Here's
It's
a little
just
bit of a taste.
funny, you know,
And
watching
9.
him.
And his will to dominate.
Entire moral battle, Dumbledore not actually giving up the ring and throwing it into the fire, instead taking it, and that of course leads to all the events of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Okay, that's what a good prologue sounds like. But most of all, you have all the messages, right? You have all the themes laid out in the first 5 minutes of what will be like a 9-hour trilogy. You have all the sort of major races that have been introduced. You have the bad guy who's
So
been
again,
introduced.
it's not races. We are introduced. Those are species we were introduced. Elves are species. Humans are species. Dwarves are species, and also hobbits are species. They are not race. But he is so much entangled with racism.
Introduced right after this, of course, you get this incredible battle scene where Sauron is just blowing people out of the water with his mace. He's just destroying